All right, welcome to the Scandal Podcast. We are reviewing Enemy of the State episode 4 today of Scandal. So, how are you, ladies?
Good.
Great.
Excellent. I am joined today by Olivia Linden of olivialinden.com, Nicole Kerry from girlratesworld.com, and Katrina Pavella from katrinapavella.tumblr.com. Right?
Yeah.
Got it? Great. So let's get into it. What did y'all think about this episode?
Well, I was I was saying to Nicole earlier before everybody else got on the call that when I got assigned this episode or found out we were going to be doing this episode this week, I wasn't super excited because it wasn't one of the episodes that was that was my favorite. But going back and looking at it after seeing all of season 2, there are some really important things that happen in this episode, both in terms of what it meant for season 1 and also that we can go back to with season 2 in mind. And even, what may lay ahead in season 3. So I think your questions provided some really great context for looking at this episode. So I was more excited after I saw the questions because I thought, this could be really sort of brand new again.
Yeah. At least that's what I intended.
Well,
what about you, Nicole?
I agree. I think that this episode, you start to see some of the characters in a different light. You start to see more of who they're going to become in season 2. I didn't like this episode either because of the main story, the story with the dictator and his wife getting kidnapped. I didn't really care for that storyline, but everything else going on around that story was really what I liked to was really showing like the characters and their true personalities were shining through, I think.
I think it was important for them to do the episode with Benicio because it then gave us a little bit more insight into Abby and the fact that she was willing to, go the lengths that she went through, especially since they went back and, well, we'll just get into that later. What about you, Olivia? What were your thoughts?
I just, starting from the last episode into this one, you see how, like, cutthroat Cyrus really is. Like in the beginning, you kind of thought Cyrus, he was so nice, and, him and Liv had this little relationship, but then you see he's like, by any means necessary. So that stood out for me a lot.
Yeah, because she's supposed to be his work wife, not you trying to stick
Cyrus
on my people. You know what I'm saying?
Cyrus doesn't care who you are. If you're messing up the plan, you gotta go.
You gotta go. Yeah.
That's it.
So what were the 3 highlights that kind of stood out for you this episode, Nicole?
Oh, 3 highlights. Well, let's see. Abby, I saw Abby becoming. You saw that she had it in her to betray Olivia. You saw Cyrus as, like Olivia mentioned, he is not, to me, he's not loyal to anyone but himself. He's cutthroat. You also see Olivia being weak and strong at the same time, which I like the way they played that out. You also see. I think that's pretty much it for the highlights from me.
They kind of had to put her back on track a lot these last 2 episodes, because I just reviewed the one right before this. So it's like they had to keep her going, wearing the white hat. They had to put the white hat back on her head. They had to dust it off, all that stuff. And I see what you're saying with that. What about you, Katrina?
For me, it's less about putting her back on track necessarily. I think I have highlights, but I just wanted to address that one thing first about Olivia sort of being back on track and being weak and strong. I really thought that this episode sort of brought out really the question of who is the real Olivia Pope in lots of different ways. We had Sanders Black looking into her background, and they said, except for the fact that she had an affair with someone on the campaign, Olivia Pope is a saint. Oh, I need to know, is this a PG hang
Well,
out?
that's a good question.
Scandal. I think last episode when I did it by myself, I said the F word or something. I was so frustrated at
I'll
having to do it by
try.
myself, but
That's a really good question. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna try, but if a few bombs can get dropped,
I'm
then
not editing anything.
when
So
necessary. But okay,
do what
so
you got to
that's the
do.
right point. And I'm gonna try to take up too much time. So we had that. We also had Abby essentially telling her, you don't get to decide when the real Olivia Pope walks in this door. I will
Mhm.
gladly follow you over a cliff, but you've got to be a warrior. You've got to show up. And
Yeah.
then we have the Olivia Pope, who is also very tenacious and will go above and beyond for her clients. And that plays into a lot of the decisions that she makes that affect her in season 2, including the decision she made in Defiance. That wasn't just about her and Fitz. That was about her as a gladiator, doing what she needed to do for her client and taking that horse across the finish line.
Oh,
So
I
there are
didn't
all
think of
these
that.
questions of who is the real Olivia Pope in this episode. But for me, the highlights were near the beginning, Olivia in panic mode, because I think that that's the first time that we see that in the season. We saw her cry in the closet at the end of Sweet Baby after the Oval Office scene. But for me, her in her kitchen panicking over those test strips really
Yes.
gave me an indication, wow, this thing with this man is way deeper, because 90% of what's going on with you right now is not a professional challenge that this girl
Mhm.
is now pregnant. This is a personal thing for you. Like, oh my God, this man that I loved, this woman is pregnant with his baby
Mhm.
potentially. She was
Exactly.
freaking the fuck out. And it just made me want to know even more about her and Fitz's past relationship. I was like, oh my God, please, I got to find out what's going on. And so that was highlight number 1. 2 was finding out that Cyrus was gay.
Oh,
Because for me,
yes.
I thought, oh my God, this adds a whole other layer. This
Right.
man
Oh,
is
that
like
was the first
a
time.
bulldog. What's going to happen from here? And he's a Republican.
Yeah.
What's going to go on? And that he was shady as fuck and not afraid to be shady with what he said to Olivia when she asked him about, did the president use protection? And he's like,
Oh,
I
I
don't
love
know. Did he use
was
it with
so
you?
nasty.
I know,
Oh.
right? And he's
And then
like,
he just
"Don't
put
come
her
back
out the White
here."
House the episode before. I'm like,
Right.
are you
Exactly.
serious?
Right.
So it's building on that, and you really see that this man is not here for anybody who is going to get in the way of what he wants. And so I really, really, this is the episode where I thought, okay, Cyrus. And lastly, Huck standing guard at Olivia's office door when she comes in and she's overwhelmed
Mhm.
and her back is turned, and he says, what do you need? And she says, I just need 1 minute. And by the way, that's the first time we hear 1 minute.
Yes.
But
Oh,
yeah,
no,
and him.
Amanda Tanner said it first.
Did she say she needed a? Oh, she did.
She
She said she
did.
needed a minute.
I
That's
was
right.
like,
And Sweet Baby, you're right. But yes, and him standing there like a soldier, standing guard over her, which when you think about the military theme of the episode and declaring war, is just a really interesting kind of visual.
Yeah.
But yeah.
What about you, Olivia? We didn't forget.
I'm trying to think back. This episode, it kind of gave a glimpse into the little chink in Olivia's armor. She's almost like 100% perfect, but you start to see the little cracks in, how emotional she really is and how she's trying to cover that up.
Yeah.
And then you see, even though we can tell that, Abby might or is capable of betraying her, you kind of see the dynamics of her relationship with all the other gladiators. How it's not just a team, she has a little personal connection with each one of them. And so, it's like layers to this show unravels each episode. You see just a little bit more and you start to understand this is not just, a team of people that came together or she pulled together. They all kind of, love this woman.
Yeah.
And so that was the highlight for me. It was just there was so much going on all over the place. You're like, what? What? But yeah.
The highlights for me were when she came into the office and Quinn was freaking out because this military presence had shown up at the door, and Huck was like, would you like me to get a gun? And then Quinn was like, you have a gun? And Abby was like, I have one too. I'm like, wow, really? Why y'all have guns?
Right.
And then when Abby gives Olivia mess for the case, taking the case against Benicio, and people walked away from Abby this episode, and I loved it. I was here for it. I was like,
I
yes,
walked
just
away
walk
from her
away
too.
from it. Did you?
Yeah.
You needed
She
to.
was
'cause
wrong.
just-
She was wrong.
yeah, she was. She's Abby just gets on. Ugh.
She's the most insubordinate person on that team.
Yes,
of
she
Gladiators.
is, and
she
I would
really
fire
is.
her.
And she's
I would Donald Trump her.
I'm telling her, but they need it. They need somebody to shake it. I keep saying that.
You keep saying that. I just can't.
They need, but
you
you need. It's a balance. It's a balance. You know, if you all follow someone off a cliff, if some person doesn't say, "Hey, there's a cliff right there," you know, you'd rather them be wrong about the cliff than them not say that there's a cliff in front of you.
I'm not going with you.
I know.
You all right now? I'm not going. It's not going to happen.
Say bye to me on your way down.
Yeah.
I think Abby helps keep Olivia from becoming a dictator in many ways, which is interesting if you think about what happened in the episode.
But
I'm sorry. I'm like
it didn't matter because she was like, "Oh, so we're taking the case." Olivia was like she was
she didn't even answer her.
Right.
Just walked off and closed the door.
Shade.
But my guess, this was the one I liked the most. This is my favorite quote actually, but it was like, my guess, if you meet this guy in a dark alley, you're done. Like I love that quote about Huck. When they were investigating the team, he's like, there's not much information on him, but some people showed up at my door just to let me know that I should stop investigating.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Was the case in the episode compelling, and why? Did it support the storyline? I know you drew a parallel, Katrina, to Huck standing in the doorway with that. So what do you all think?
I guess the case, it kind of shows how dangerous, we know that Olivia deals in all levels of things, but I think this was the first time that you could tell that, wow, this, shit can get real with what she does and her clients. Yeah, because it's like, oh, okay, and how connected. I mean, she's so connected. It's like, oh, what do you need? Eggs? Okay. What do you need? You need what? It's like she just always has that one person that she can go to fix everything. And it's like, what can't this woman do? What But I think that also the woman standing up and leaving her husband. It seems like every case somehow is a mirror back to Olivia and whatever struggle she's going through.
Yeah.
She has these
and her person. Yeah. It always gives her, she always has like an aha moment, like, oh.
She's talking to herself when she talks to these people. I'm like,
right.
She works out her own issue at that moment with
exactly.
all of her clients. Yeah, she does.
That is so crazy. What do you think, Nicole?
I agree. I think that, for example, when her and Abby were having that little falling out, when she started saying it was her fault, she married that monster. She decided to marry this man. That's her talking about herself and how she decided to fall in love with Fitz. So you kind of deserve what you get, I think that's what she was. I think she was hard on that lady because that lady kind of represented her in her and Fitz's relationship.
What about you, Katrina?
Well, there were a couple. I after going back twice, I did really find this episode compelling. Well, I found the case compelling because I think there were a few things that it introduced to us, some parallels that it drew for the second season, and that the show sort of like reveals to us, and I think this particular case was able to reveal lots of different layers. Excuse me when I'm looking off, I'm like looking at my notes that are on paper because I'm like old school like that. So for me, and I always pay really careful attention to the name of the episode because it's purposeful. So, Enemy of the State. The parallel that the case drew with the episode title as well as the overall storyline was about Benicio, him and his country. They are an enemy of the state, of the United States. Amanda Tanner is also an enemy of the United States. She was co-opted into this thing with Billy, essentially to stage a coup against the United States government, because that's what they're trying to do, is overthrow the administration. And they are enemies of the United States. Her baby is an enemy of the state because it represents a threat. Her potential baby, before we find out that it's not Fitz's baby. So that also represents sort of enemy of the state. I think,
but Olivia too, by aligning herself to Amanda, became an enemy of the state.
That's exactly true.
Yes.
Which is why Cyrus then declared, well, technically it was Fitz, but I think Cyrus took it to a whole other level, declaring war on Olivia and her team. So they were also enemies of the state. And I think all of that culminates in this really, really, I think, amazing scene at the very end of the episode, where it's cutting between, we hear Fitz's speech at the OSA, at the OAS, and then we see Amanda Tanner essentially being bound and killed, because I think she wasn't just being drugged, whatever they were injecting her with. And we also have that intercut with this kind of democratic process going on at OPA, with each of them deciding if they want to be involved in this fight, as personal and ugly as it's going to get. So there's all this stuff about, democracy versus a dictatorship that's going on. And that, so the case represents this dictator, and then as sort of the enemy of the state. And then there's Fitz and the United States presenting itself as this democracy, but also acting in really shady and dictatorial ways. We see with Amanda getting rid of her, and declaring war on OPA because they're getting in their way.
And they did say something about, somebody said this anyway, about Fitz not having blood on his hands until he killed Verna. No, Fitz had blood on his hands way before Verna. This was an example of that, because he basically he took the chain off Cyrus and let him loose, and he knew Cyrus was gonna,
Do you think he really knew?
I don't think
he would go. I don't think Fitz knew he would go to that degree.
When he stopped in that hallway, when Fitz told Cyrus that, and then he stopped in that hallway, and he had that look on his face, he knew.
I didn't think it was that.
I think he cared. I don't think he cared.
I think he cared. I don't think he knew that Cyrus could go to the levels that he did go, which is why he then was so adamant about leaving the White House to make it to Olivia to say, this is not me. This is not what I wanted. Who I am. He goes to her apartment. He risks so much to make sure that he says to her, like, that wasn't me. I had nothing to do with that. I didn't know Cyrus would go in that direction. We're going to disagree. But I want to get back. I want to get back to. But
let me just get this point out.
No, yeah. No, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Because I know I'm going to forget. But the point is that I think that he did know, and this is an excuse that he used now that, Cyrus has done something crazy, so that he can go to Olivia and have an excuse or a reason to go. But he knew all along that Cyrus, because like in later seasons, you listen to him say, well, I let the dog off the chain, or I know how Cyrus is. You knew
his dragon, his bulldog. I think he knows Cyrus will do cutthroat things for him, but have a girl murder. I don't know if something like that had ever happened. We have to remember, this is like 2 years into the administration. I don't know that Cyrus had ever done something exactly like that. Fitz didn't know anything about defiance. He didn't know exactly what Cyrus was capable for. He knows Cyrus makes things happen, but I don't know if he knew Cyrus was capable of murder. I think he did realize that when he decided to go, when he stopped in that hallway and said, we're going to go, Olivia Pope is our problem. I think that moment for him was, what did I just do?
I agree.
Did he think it could go to the level of murder? I am really not sure about that.
No, I don't think the reason he stopped in the hall was because of the fact that someone would have been murdered. I think he realized, oh my God, I just declared war on the love of my life.
Right.
Did I really
all about Olivia?
Exactly.
What could this mean?
So
exactly.
Pumped up over that speech he done that he was just like on cloud nine.
He was trying to get his man balls back because Cyrus was like, and that's what he was trying to do. He was trying to get his man balls back because Cyrus had punked him so bad. He was just like, I gotta do something. Or Cyrus, he's beating his chest. That's not, nah.
Exactly.
He knew Cyrus was crazier than a bag of hammers.
I think, his speech, I think that brought back to him the importance of what he was there to do and trying to focus on what do we need to get, to get this done. What's the problem here? And then that stop in the hallway being like, fuck, what does this mean that
Yeah.
I've just said to Cyrus, is this a path we're going down that is, how is this going to end? And I don't think he knew, but he knew that he needed to do it because they had a problem. But the last two things, really, really quickly, I thought this storyline brought up that were really important was the Who is Quinn cliffhanger. Because, not necessarily the storyline, but because of the investigation that Sanders Black opened up. That's where we first found out that Quinn didn't exist until 2 years ago, right? So that's the beginning of the Who is Quinn cliffhanger. And then I thought that the relationship between Benicio and Carolina, especially the final monologue that Olivia delivers to him, had a lot of elements of the Fitz and Melly relationship and what may lay ahead. So there were some really important things doing there. The whole, is she going to be the mother of your children or the face of your opposition? I think we saw some of that come out in that in Olivia's plan that Fitz unveiled to Melly in the hospital scene in 222, and that back and forth that they have. And lastly, like I said, it's, I think, on a sort of bigger level, because I think this show shows a kind of has a cynical view of the United States government. I think it shows the kind of mythology that we all like to believe in about our government, but then it also looks at the really, really shady things that it has to do to protect, or thinks it has to do to protect those freedoms. So,
or
and
things they think they have to do to
that's
protect
what I'm
those
saying.
freedoms.
The things they think they have to do to
and that
protect
they're
those
willing
freedoms.
to do.
And that they're willing to do, which we see through Cyrus having Charlie kill Amanda at the end. And then we have this,
I know that
and that's intercut with Fitz delivering that speech about how democracy is in danger because as long as a few of our brothers and sisters are suffering under a dictator, we have to continue the fight and blah, blah, blah. Meanwhile, he has had, Cyrus tell him to declare war and do this really shady shit to get rid of this girl. That's a threat to his government. So,
but
yeah.
I just want to make a point real quick that Fitz is a liar.
No.
We're gonna get in a fight because
I love Fitz. I love Fitz. Fitz is a liar.
Nicole, you're a girl after my own heart.
Y'all should have heard of the last episode. Talk about, I need you to have some care about yourselfness.
She needed some care about yourselfness. I'm serious. But I love it. And but when, from the last episode before this, where you saw when he said, my God, and it wasn't about Amanda Tanner. Fitz somehow, even Melly senses it, whatever his feelings for Olivia are destructive to him if they're not positive. So everything that he does in this whole episode to me is just about how to fix things between him and Olivia.
That's true.
He doesn't want to alienate Olivia.
No, he doesn't.
Declaring war on one hand, yes, he had to get rid of the whole Amanda Tanner situation, but he didn't want it to go to that extent because that would mean the end of him and Olivia also.
Exactly.
So
he just wanted his man balls back.
He wanted his man balls back, and he wanted the place that his man balls hang out back also. Like, he doesn't want to...
He wanted that brown sugar.
Yeah. I think it was something said in the heat of the moment. I really do. I don't think...
That what was said in the heat of the moment?
The declaring war, declaring war on Olivia. I think he was just so pumped from that speech that he's just...
No, I don't know that he's angry. I think his feelings for Olivia are really, really overwhelming to him sometimes. And I think sometimes we forget, I think about Fitz in this context. This is a at this point in the episode, almost 50-year-old man who has been married for over 20 years to a woman he was essentially had an arranged marriage with and was carrying out his life. And then he met the love of his life when he was in his late 40s. He'd gone all this time thinking that something that he wanted wasn't possible, and then he met that person and could not unsee that. It was literally like he saw the light. And so everything that has come after that, knowing that possibility exists, everything he does, he tries to get back to that. He tries to get back to the light. And he sometimes really acts out and behaves in really desperate ways that I don't always think are right, but I understand why he does it. I can't say that they're always good. I'm not that kind of a fit stan. I'm able to criticize him when I think he's behaving badly, but I can also see where he's coming from, even if it's not right. He does behave out of desperation and sometimes capriciously without thinking, and I think he didn't think of all the ramifications of his decision in that office with Cyrus.
Right. When I say angry, I don't mean angry like, oh, this bitch. I mean angry in the sense that no, because if you think about it, Olivia, there's an element that both of them are not privy to. Mm-hmm. They both don't know about the fact that Amanda's working with Billy. So it's a misunderstanding on both parts. So I can see where Fitz would be like, how is she going at me so hard? Like, why would she even get involved with this? That's where I mean the anger comes from. Him looking at her like, why are you doing this to us?
But he lied to her. Yeah, he lied to her, and that's why she's going at you.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
Well, but I know, I know why he lied. I'm not saying it's okay.
I know too.
But you know what?
The way he looks her in the face and lies.
Exactly. Boldly, like unapologetically. You know me.
No. That wasn't lying. That call wasn't lying at the end of at the end of 105. But when he in Sweet Baby, he definitely lied to her when she came. But also Cyrus was around. Melly was around at Camp David when she was there. What opportunity did he have to tell her the real truth until she showed up?
Yeah, he could have said yes because they were on the phone.
Cyrus? No, he wasn't going to send. He wasn't going to.
First time, from what I remember, the first time she asked him, he was walking and he was on the phone with her, and she could have said yes.
Yes.
And cameras were. Cyrus was right there, and cameras were also filming him. Remember, she was watching him on TV when she made that call to him, right? And she had to call Cyrus's phone in order to get to him. She doesn't have she can't have a direct line. She never can call him and he answers the phone. It's always his secretary or she goes through Cyrus.
How do you know that always? Sound like side chick etiquette. I feel like what?
No comment.
Where do you live in, Katrina? What in the world? So if blank would have done blank in this episode, it would have been perfect. If you could have seen something changing in this episode to make it perfect, what would it have been?
I know. You call names normally, so it's just like waiting.
Oh, normally? Oh, I'm sorry. So let's start with Katrina, and then we'll go down.
Mine's real quick. I know I go on and on. Mine was.
We're going to get to 1:30. No.
I know, we are. Good Lord. I never.
Get comfortable.
I have a lot to say because I have a lot of feelings. If Olivia would have done a DNA test before filing that damn motion in the Superior Court,
but she still
episode would have been perfect. No, she assumed Amanda was pregnant, right? But she assumed that it was the president's baby, and I thought
emotions are involved.
It was. But I felt like. By the time she got to, it was later in the episode, and it was she and Stephen were in the office with Amanda Tanner telling her, we're going to file a motion in Superior Court to get, a test. This is what's going to happen. You want to burn your house down, their house down, you got to burn yours too, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, why wouldn't you, get that test for yourself before you file a motion in court to be sure that this is actually the president's baby?
She was so
But you're right. Her emotions were. She was so overwhelmed by him lying to her that she made a lot of assumptions, right? Beyond that, she didn't know Billy was involved. She didn't know this was a much larger thing. But part of me thinks, God, if you had just done that, I wonder how this episode would then change or what would have come after this. So for me, that was one moment in this episode. If you had done that one thing, just the tenor of things could have changed. Amanda might not have died.
Well, Amanda needs to die. I think that's necessary. Nicole, what was yours?
Oh boy, I don't think I have one for. Really? No, but I'll just elaborate on what Katrina said. I think that had it went any differently, the whole story would have been blown to smithereens because she was acting out of desperation. I don't think at that point it mattered. They just wanted to get it dealt with. They wanted to sweep it under the rug, pay her off, get her out the way.
Mm-hmm.
So I think by doing a paternity test, it would have let the world know that he had this illegitimate child out there. By just paying her off and shutting her up, they could have kept on and nothing would ever been known.
Confirmed. What about you, Olivia?
I think that if Amanda Tanner had disappeared earlier in the episode, it would have been perfect.
You are not here for her in any way, shape, or form. I see.
So
every
Scandal
time I had to see her, I was just like, oh.
I guess I won't have to guess who your least favorite character is this episode. When we get to that question.
We always get your least favorite character before we actually get So Scandal has become an incredible phenomenon with all the social media aspects of the show. What about the show keeps you coming back for more, Nicole?
Oh my God, the sex scenes between Olivia and Fitz. I think they are
real talk, straight up.
They touch me in many places in my heart.
Many places. Oh, here we go. In many places.
Wow.
That's what she said.
I don't think I want to know you that
well. But I feel like we need a Ryan Reynolds gift for that.
Okay. In many places.
Let me count the ways. How many ways, Nicole?
Many ways. I keep coming back for their love is so strong and it's so passionate. It's so real. It's so real. You forget that it's TV. That's not real.
Right.
What about you, Olivia?
I like, just like she said, it's real. It's not even, it's not perfect. It's messy. It's ugly. And it's so painful. Damn interesting. Yeah, it hurts. It feels good. It's great.
Devastating.
And it always keeps you on your toes. You can't ever sit down and watch this show and say, I know what's going to happen next. I know what's
You can't.
You're just sitting there like.
Definitely true. Yeah.
The whole episode, like, what?
Can't miss it when it comes on because you done missed about 5 seconds of critical stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I gotta be here at 9:55 and don't hurry up with my food.
Don't
Mama, get on out this hospital. We gotta go.
Was it Kid Fury that posted that video saying you can't miss like the first 10 seconds of Scandal because it's like you would have missed like 5 murders, like 3 people getting sold off, like, all this stuff. And it really is true. You miss so much. You can't miss the opening scenes, and you really can't miss like the last 5 minutes of the show, like ever, because.
What keeps you coming back for more, Katrina?
Obviously, the Fitz and Olivia relationship. I'm so here for it in all of its messiness and all of its complicated things. And I'm here for them not just as a couple, but also as these two individuals who are really trying to be better people and the best that they can be. Also to be in a relationship with each other. And I think we can't forget that as much as their relationship is beautiful and complex, that them as individuals also have their own journeys, and that affects how and when they come together. But other than that, other than their relationship, the other thing about their relationship is that it reveals these other issues about race, sexuality, gender, and power that I find really compelling and that I like to write about. And I think that the writers are trying to say something beyond, oh, look at this, complicated romance. I think this relationship, because these people are sort of the ultimate two people who really shouldn't be together in so many ways, but are also on an interpersonal level as just human beings so absolutely perfect for one another, that it really makes you think about the prescriptive nature of relationships that we're all like taught about growing up. Who you meet, who you should be in a relationship with, that, you get married, you have kids, you'd like do that whole thing. And they make me think about what being together and being a couple like really means. And the other thing is that I'm just really, really fascinated by human nature and why we do the things that we do and who we are at any given moment in any situation, and the way in which that we surprise ourselves with the decisions that we make just depending on the situation that we find ourselves in. And I think we see that week to week with all the characters on Scandal. So that's really interesting to me.
With the relationships that you were talking about, it goes beyond that too, because you see throughout the casting the dichotomy of having a gay chief of staff and a woman in OPA that was abused and beaten. It kind of reflects the whole totality of America in a way.
Yeah, it does. It's a microcosm of so many different parts of America and the issues that we face. Yeah.
I'm glad you brought that up, because I just thought about that when you said it. I'm like, yeah, because Harrison was in jail. How many black men do you know go to jail and don't have good legal defense and end up staying there? And even if he's a lawyer, he still could have sat there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, get that bookkeeping degree.
Oh my goodness. Who's your favorite character this episode, Olivia?
My favorite character this episode? Harrison. No, I'm joking.
You already know what I feel about the mansuits.
Who's my favorite character this episode? I think Liv. I think she was just, she was all over the place, and I liked seeing her kind of break down. I liked seeing that she had, she wasn't that put together. She wasn't as composed as she came across the first 3 episodes. So she was my fave.
What about you, Nicole?
I'm gonna have to go with Cyrus on this one, because Cyrus keeps it real. He shows you who he is. He never like when it's a saying, if someone shows you who you are, you believe them. I've never doubt who he is, and I like that. His character is true to the bone, and I love that.
Very consistent, and for me, it was Abby, which is surprising because a lot of times, like, I roll my eyes at Abby.
Oh God, I can't take
her. but for me, I think she really challenged Olivia in a way that wasn't annoying this episode, because I think in the second season she is kind of really, in some ways, passive aggressive with it and annoying about the stuff she says that Olivia goes through. And she confronted her straight up, when they were in that conference room, and saying, the Olivia Pope that I knew, she took a tire iron to my ex-husband's knees when I was in trouble and he was beating the shit out of me. That's who I know. That's the gladiator I know. And I will be here for you and follow you off of a cliff, but you got to show up. You got to do your part too, and I will do my part. And I thought that was really interesting, even though it's, it's insubordination. And I think she also brought out some different shades of Olivia, like you were saying, Olivia, earlier, how Olivia seemed to be all over the place, and we saw much more of her vulnerability and these different sides to her. I think Abby was a key part of bringing that out this episode in some ways.
We have a viewer who sent us an email. It's Alina at Simply Complicated Life. She said she loves Harrison in a big way, like in the creepy way that makes me want to be a gladiator just so I can be close to him. So
wow.
Weird, Alina. And then she also says she has a love-hate relationship with Olivia and Fitz. He's a little emotionally manipulative, a lot, when it comes to Olivia.
Liar.
I don't remember which episode or season where he has his people come and bring Olivia to the woods, and he basically tells her she is his, period, whether she wants to be or not. And he was physically jerking her around, and she kept telling him no.
Hold up. She said what? That he told her what?
He said that he told her, good Lord, that he was basically hers, and that he kept jerking her around physically. And when she told him no, he was just a child about it. But there's so much passion between them, and they're never, ever, ever going to be over. Well, if that's the case,
I disagree about her assessment of that scene.
Well, that's what Alina said, and but Alina also says she loves Harrison in a creepy way, which to me, a little odd, Alina. I don't know what's going on with you with that. You might need to seek some scandal rehab.
Why is that so creepy? I mean, what's so creepy about it? I don't get it.
Oh gosh, Olivia, you and this Harrison upset. Aren't you taller than Harrison? He's like 4'2".
Not with my shoes off. Not with my shoes. As long as I wear flats, we're straight.
So, who is your least favorite character this episode, and what assessment do you have of Alina's thought process when it comes to Liv and Fitz and when it comes to Harrison? Any of you jump in anytime.
Not to beat a dead horse, but the character I hated the most was Allie. I mean Abby. Oh God.
I'm like, who's that? I'm about to read my notes. I'm like,
Ally McBeal. She made an appearance.
Abby. I don't like Abby, and I just think that she was wrong on so many levels for what she did. That she was out of place, and that lady was not getting beat, so it wasn't as severe as her case. So she shouldn't have held Olivia to the same
scared for her
standard.
life, though.
Yeah.
Nicole,
Then why
She was
she came to the
expecting
United
a bit.
States with him? She was not that terrified. She stood up to him at the end. She wasn't that terrified.
she
You
was
think
on
Abby was
U.S.
projecting
soil.
in the way that Olivia sometimes projects with her clients and like
Yeah,
makes
I
it
think
more about herself than the actual
exactly.
clients' like issues?
Yeah,
Yes.
Right,
that's true.
right.
Y'all think Steven is the one that told Olivia? I
Oh
think
yeah,
Steven
he's a
told
Oh
snitch.
yeah, his face
He's a
when like Abby
He's
came
like,
in.
snitch.
Ooh, you in trouble,
you gonna get it.
Harrison.
I ain't gonna say nothing. I told on you. We didn't even check that. You just left. We didn't check it.
Right? I'm not getting in trouble because of your ass.
Yeah.
Right.
I need my job. I'm engaged. I ain't got time for this.
I just bought an expensive ass ring. I need this job,
Okay.
girl.
What do you all think? Who are your favorite, least favorite characters?
As much
Katrina, just say the name. Don't go into a long speech.
I'm not gonna go into.
I
a long
like her speeches.
and I'm gonna shut up.
No.
No, Katrina, we love your insights. You give me more insights to the
No.
story. I'm like,
Things that make you go,
let me write that down. I'm writing your stuff down. Like,
Exactly. Like, oh.
What you say? Oh, mm-hmm.
No, my answer is really simple for this. So, it's Amanda. Amanda Tanner was my least favorite character this episode. Because I really got angry with her and her whole pregnancy thing, and I saw that pregnancy thing coming from like 2 episodes ago. I knew this shit was gonna go down. Yeah, I knew her ass was gonna be pregnant when she.
Scandal.
Because it's like, where else was it gonna go, right? They needed some kind of evidence for her storyline to work out. It was like, this bitch is gonna be pregnant. Bet. And that's what happened. But
Again,
no,
I don't know what's going on with your life. First the phone call and then around what? And now here you like, I just know you. I know you. I know your story.
Well, they do say that what you learn about a show reflects more about your own life than necessarily what you see on the screen. But no, I'm kidding. No, I am so not Amanda Tanner. No.
Yeah.
But no, I was just like angry with her for the whole baby thing and letting it get to that level. And then at the end, she's going to call who we now know was Billy, saying, I can't do this anymore. I can't lie anymore. Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, too many people are involved at this point. Look how many people you dragged into this. Come on.
Billy killed Amanda Tanner. Amanda Tanner. I always say
No, it was Cyrus.
No, it was Cyrus.
I think it was Cyrus.
It was Billy. Billy admitted to it at the end.
It was Cyrus. Remember he went to get payment?
At the very end of the season?
Yeah.
Grant for the people in 107.
It was Billy. And thinking about it, when you said, I'm like, it should have been Billy. So, it
should have been Billy, but it wasn't. I think for a lot of people thought it was Billy. But I wonder what he was going to do in that situation. Just try and calm her down and convince her to keep, going through it. And why would she do that for this dude? Like, I don't know.
It was putting her down.
It must have been blackmailing her for some reason.
I agree. She was my least favorite character.
Cyrus was mine. Who was yours?
Sorry, go ahead, Nicole. You
yeah.
She like.
No, I've got to play the devil's advocate for Amanda because it was a little hole in the episode which I never understood why she was so angry and why she wanted to speak to the president so badly. I still don't know why, and I can only think that maybe she wanted to come clean, and that's why she was so adamant about seeing him in person. That maybe she wanted to tell him that, hey, you're being set up by Billy, or because I can't think of any other reason why she was so. I mean, she was very, very headstrong on seeing him one last time.
I have one.
She
was scared. She's scared. She was scared. And if anyone could help her out of that situation that she got herself into, which is why she's my least favorite character, it would have been him. And
sorry, go ahead.
No, and that's why she's my least favorite character, because whatever is going on, she slept with him, whatever, she loved him, I don't know. but it was stupid of her from the very beginning to get into this thing with Billy. It was very stupid of her, and it was even worse that she turned to Olivia, or she let Olivia, quote unquote, help her. Yeah. But she was still being deceptive to Olivia. It's like, what did she expect the outcome to be when she was in so many different spider webs?
Yeah, she really got herself wrapped into a whole mess, and she was using the president as much as she was using Olivia, and maybe even I don't know if she's using Billy in some ways. Right. And I think the only two people that know the real truth of what happened between them is obviously, Amanda and the president. And maybe that was also part of, like you were saying, she was scared, and the only person that could really help her out of the situation would have been Fitz, because they're the only two people that know the truth of what happened. But in my mind and in my world, my Fitzgerald did not sleep with her. As he said, it couldn't be his child. I really think it was a desperate BJ.
Well, I actually like the relationship between Olivia and Fitz, like the love and all that good stuff. I do not find Fitz attractive. Like, I don't know.
Get out. I'm ending this call right now. I'm ending it. No, just kidding.
Hunter, I do not find Fitz. Where at? I mean, you need to have physical eyebrows.
Leave his eyebrows alone. Leave his eyebrows alone.
You need that. That's a basic necessity of attractiveness. I'm not.
Earrings are off. No, you can't be talking to that.
Where the Vaseline at?
I'm about to go
I'm just saying. I don't know what. I like the way he walks. That's about it. But physically, I'm not.
You know what it is?
What sex appeal is it? The only sex appeal I see is when they're together.
It's the stuff that comes off of him. The way he is with her.
It is.
His eyebrows came off of him.
Come on.
He's blonde. He was born blonde, and that's why he doesn't have a lot of eyebrows. They're very fair.
There is this thing called a makeup artist, and they can color that in for you.
No.
Then he looked crazy. Then he looked crazy. Then we'd be like, what's going on with that?
Yeah, like, why does
I would appreciate it if they do that for him, because it just distracts me. I'm just like, the whole episode, I'm just like, what is
you know what you need to do? You need to look at his lower third of his face. That's what you need to do.
He's like,
forget the eyebrows, okay? Look at that man's mouth. Look at his jawline.
He's very charismatic. He's just
he's very. Look at his profile when he's just standing there. Just look at his walk. Look at his shoulders. Look at his chest when he's naked. Just all of that.
You almost made me. Yeah. Okay. What are the two best quotes for this episode for you? We're going to start with Nicole. We did Olivia first the last time.
Well, one of my favorite quotes would be Cyrus when he asked Olivia, when she asked about the condom, and he was like, I don't know, that's your area. That's the same thing I would have said.
He was my least favorite this episode, by the way.
That's the same. He kept it real, because if that was you and she came, I would have said the same thing. Like, girl, you know. You should. I should be asking you. So that was one of my favorite quotes. The other one would be Cyrus again when he gave him that long speech about his life and he said he's gonna blow his brain out. I thought that was amazing.
That was awesome. I love that. Yeah, I love that.
So those.
What about you, Katrina?
I have to pick one just because I know, so did I. One, just because it made me laugh, and I think it really showed Abby's personality, which was, your delightful death squads are now our delightful death squads. I don't know why. That's me. And and this one line that Quinn said, because I have so many here, and they're not long ones, but the line that Quinn says, like, near the end, just because I think it's a perfect way when someone asks you a question that you don't really want to confirm or deny.
With Gideon.
Yeah, and he asked her, was the president sleeping with Amanda Tanner? And she goes, don't you wish? Now that would be a story. Because I'm like, you're not really saying anything, but you're not making the person feel. She's not lying, and she's not making the person feel bad about what they asked. She's not confirming or denying it. Just kind of like, oh, that would be something, wouldn't it?
And for the
which doesn't
past
mean
few
anything.
episodes, they've been really on her about the fact that she really can't lie well. Like
Yep, yep. So she had
Harrison
a
said to her,
breakthrough.
he's like, when see you were lying. See, I looked at you just now. You look like you want to cry. You're lying.
She has a tell. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was, I thought, I'm gonna start using that. I like it.
What about you, Olivia?
I don't know. I think one that made me laugh was basically, I think it was Abby that said when people disagree with him, they tend to disappear. I was like, this
Y'all like the
woman.
death quotes. One of my favorites were, you and I are no longer friends. Don't come here again.
Yes.
When Sai said that to her, it was like, wow, really, Sai? And I guess to me, and she probably felt like that. But when you, with you, Nicole, when you said about Sai sitting there, he was like, Oprah's retired now, so I guess I have to do a post-funeral interview with Barbara Walters. She's nice.
Yeah, I really like that a lot
Yes.
too. That was one of the ones I wrote down too. I love
And
it.
they went to find out what happened to what's his name, Benicio's wife, and they were at the restaurant, and then I think Harrison asked all these questions, and then Huck was like, well, what kind of game was it? He's like, pay attention, fanboy. And then Huck's like, fanboy here, track the IP address, and blah, blah, blah. And they're like, Huck, English, you know, he's
Yes,
like, I found the toy. And so I love that because it made Harrison eat crow. I like that part. So based on this episode, what predictions do you all have for season 3? I know you got a whole sheet and a half full of this, Katrina. Come on now, bring it to me. Give it to me.
Oh, well, okay. I think there's one thing I wrote down. This because I'm a little bit fixated on this idea. So at the end, near the end of the episode, when Cyrus comes to Olivia's office and he brings like all of the files from Sanders Black, all the stuff that they found out about them, and he's he's going through and he talks about Huck, and he says, oh, this reads real, it's a real page turner, real helter skelter, and that and those are just the parts that haven't been redacted. And now we know that Huck was a part of B613. And then I go back to 217, the monologue that Cyrus delivered to Fitz, basically drawing this parallel between his patriotic duty in Operation Remington in Iran during Desert Storm and what Cyrus did in Defiance as this thing. But Cyrus says to Fitz in that episode that he asked him what happened because I knew you had this mission, but the mission report is redacted, even at my lofty level of access. So Fitz, the redactions in Huck's CIA files, redactions in Fitz's like military mission. I really think that we're going to see some dirty things in Fitz's military background, and I really believe that he has some association with the CIA in the past, if not B613. And knows Rowan, but obviously doesn't know that is Olivia's father. There is some connection there. They would not have brought that up on season 2 if it was just going to be dropped. And obviously we know Scott Foley's going to be back as Jake. So I think that whole thing and I think the first hint of that, of what's to come, started here. So
Katrina, I almost exploded saying that. I'm like, the parallels between Jake and B613 and Fitz, they have to have, at some point been under mission under that same umbrella. And people were like, oh, yeah. I'm like, yeah, I see it.
Because you brought that up before. We talked, I think you did.
There is something there. There is something there, and I'm really, really interested to see how they're going to explore that because she's like dancing. She's like feeling good. She's like, yes, I'm here for that.
I knew somebody had to feel this way because I'm like, that doesn't make any sense because they brought that up a couple of times. So I definitely, I got you, girl. Katrina.
Yeah, no, we're here, right?
You lost me on the fifth thing, but now we're back.
We just have to agree to disagree about.
Did Katrina put her earrings back on?
That is my boo. I know, I did. I put my earrings back on. I'm a lady at the end of the day, and we're not gonna fight because
What do you think, Nicole, for season 3 predictions?
Seasons from this episode or just
Mm-hmm.
in general?
From this episode.
From this episode, we're gonna see again. I'm coming back to Cyrus. We're gonna see more Cyrus doing things, more cutthroat things from Cyrus. As far as Allie, right? Yeah,
Oh my
Allie.
God, you really want her to be
Refuses to
Abby?
call us lady by the
Abby.
right name. She's like, I am not.
Abby, I think we're gonna see some more defiance from her in this episode. I mean, in season 3, possibly.
Do you think she'll be
And
fired?
I hope she is. I hope she's fired.
Not gonna be fired.
No.
I hope she's fired.
She's not, but
Someone else can take that
Yeah.
role, and someone else can take that role. Quinn can take that role.
I think Harrison could die, but that's just my thought.
Oh wow,
I
he's
mentioned
eye
that
candy,
before.
right? I think he's just eye candy.
Look
He
at Olivia's face. Devastation to the nation over there.
Uh-oh.
She's like, don't you dare
Don't
say
take her
that
eyes
about
off now.
Don't mute
Harrison.
yourself,
That was
Olivia.
so unnecessary, though.
I'm just saying.
So
You're gonna have to
I
send
hope
her
I
a
don't
gift
get another
basket.
email from
Feel better.
the viewer that.
I hope you do, because you deserve it.
Wow. So you think those are the two things that are going to happen? What about you, Olivia? What are your thoughts for predictions for this season?
Cyrus bringing that file over, I believe it's going to be open season on the gladiators.
Mhm.
They're going to be attacked. They're going to have to, there's going to be a lot more falling apart before they come right back together. And I can't wait. The beginning of season 3 is probably going to be insane.
Yeah.
I think so too. Especially since they're starting like 25 minutes after where they ended. Holy shit.
Really?
Yeah, that's what Shonda said. That because they started writing the 3rd season at the very beginning of May, while they still had 3 of the episodes left to air, and before they were officially renewed, they started writing in preparation. And so she said that they didn't want to sort of cop out of dealing with the whole mistress bomb that they dropped. So they're going to start the episode about 25 minutes after where they left off and deal with that situation.
So were there any dangling parts of the plot that you haven't seen? Well, let me tell you, I feel like Melly is going to go crazy on this next season. That's my prediction. I think that she is, and I think she will be rightfully just in demanding that Fitz put her on the ticket as his running mate, his vice president. I think she would. I think
only if that
be
was part of their arrangement. Whatever the terms of their
Yeah.
agreement were, that's
I
what
don't think
want.
I don't think that matters anymore because he broke the agreement by falling in love with Olivia, taking her through all this drama and mess, having her sit up in the whatchamacallit house for like a whole episode, a whole hour. You know, I'm just saying, like, I think that changes the game, and I think that she does have more leverage now than she had before. So they can rewrite the script and rewrite the agreement. So what do you all think? Are there any dangling parts of this plot for this episode that you haven't seen in second season? Like how Billy came back and we were just like, what? Because initially I was like, who the heck is Billy? What? Who is that? And I'm like, oh, crap. And, so do you think that there are any dangling plots for this episode that we'll see in season 3 that we haven't seen already?
If nobody else wants to go, I can
Go ahead.
They act like
Set
they
it
didn't
off,
see
Katrina,
these
set it off.
questions. They were like,
This was homework. I straight up sat down for like 2 hours and was like, all right, let me write out these questions. Let me make some bullet points. Let me think about this.
My dilemma. My answer wouldn't even make sense for this episode. You know what I'm talking about.
I'm sorry, Olivia.
Right.
I love you, girl, for trooping through it.
I'm trying.
No, but you're doing an awesome job, too, even though you thought it was like a whole different episode. For me, it goes back to the Sanders Black thing when they were, talking about all the information they had on OPA. And they said, Olivia Carolyn Pope, except for her affair with the president, is clean as a whistle. And I thought about, really? Is it really clean as a whistle? Maybe this woman's name isn't even Olivia Carolyn Pope. What if she was given a different identity now that we know her father is the head of fucking B613? What if he disappeared out of her life, faked his death, and she went into some kind of program?
Right.
Something
She
about
looked
her
shocked to see
I
him.
like
background.
the way you think. Katrina is up.
I have a
Me either.
lot of different conversations with like
Trina.
different gladiators, and just people come up with amazing, amazing stuff. And I was out to
Hmm.
dinner with two people the other night, and we were talking about this very thing, about the whole dad thing at the end of
Right.
222, and the fact that the way she said it, the fact that she said dad,
Dad?
Dad.
Like
it
she,
Right.
wasn't an antagonistic relationship. There was a sense of intimacy. She was certainly surprised to see him,
hmm
expecting like, you are the last person I expected to see, but not in a way that says that they had some kind of broken relationship, because then she would have said it with an attitude.
I don't think
So
she even knows he is the head of B613.
I don't think she knows what he's doing, and which is why that was part of her surprise. Like, why are you here of all people, like to sort of rescue me from this? And I think it's also, she has not seen this man in quite some time, but
Hmm.
did have a good relationship with him at some point in her life. So something happened with him to remove him from her life at some point, I think. And maybe what we know about her, or the lack of information on her being like clean as a whistle, has less to do with her being a political nun, as Cyrus called her in The Trail, and more to do with the fact that because of who her father is, that information has been like wiped away or somehow
hmm
changed. That's just my thought process on this. I don't know. So there's a possibility.
I thought that Billy, because Billy was in there in that meeting, not to jump ahead of anybody, but I thought that Billy in that meeting, he got a lot of information about the OPA team, and he's now,
Oh.
being put, they basically have him in prison or whatever, wherever they put him, Guantanamo or
Mm.
whatever. So I think some of that he learned about them is going to be used to leverage something for him, because that's what Billy does. So we saw that when not Jake, what's his name? Starts with a C. Charlie. When
Charlie.
Charlie went to kill him, he put some leverage out there, and Charlie didn't do
Right.
it. And
Right.
so
Mhm.
now that he knows all this stuff, all this dirt on OPA, I think something's going to be used to leverage him getting out of the situation that he's in right now. So that's my thought. What are your thoughts, Olivia
Mm.
and Nicole?
Interesting.
I mean, I agree. I think that during that meeting with the when the guy laid out all those files, I think that he pieced together that Olivia had an affair with the president. I think he was the one who blew the whistle. Actually,
That's what I thought too.
I
I
think
said
he's the
that
one
too.
because
Okay.
he looked. I mean, he knew
I
she
didn't
had an
even
affair
think
with
about
someone.
him. Oh my God, yeah.
Go ahead, Nicole.
Oh, I was.
Oh, she said you done.
She's like, I'm finished.
Oh,
Good
okay,
Yeah, I
sorry.
just yeah.
point. Oh my God.
So yeah, I think he's the one who pieced it together and released it. That was his whole goal, was to bring the president down and let everybody know that he had an affair. He just didn't
Hmm.
know with who. But now when Cyrus had that meeting, I think he knew it was Olivia at that point.
Yeah, because you saw his face at the end when he
Yeah.
was like, "Well, Olivia had an affair with someone on the trail," and Sai was like, "Don't even go there." So I
Yes.
think he did know as soon as he said that. What about you, Olivia? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, that brings back the tape into play. The tape that
Mhm.
Cyrus played for Fitz, and Cyrus assumed that
That
it
it was
was
Amanda.
Amanda in Fitz,
Hmm.
and I think it was Olivia in Fitz. So if Billy was the one who had access to that, then of course, yeah, he definitely knew.
You know.
And I really don't have a prediction based on that aspect of it, but I just
Hmm.
know it's gonna be crazy. We've
What do
got
you think?
videos, we've got audio of these people. It's just
But
Yeah,
he
we
no
too
gotta
longer
play the
has
much.
whole
that. He no
video.
longer has that tape, Billy. I mean, that recording. He
The
doesn't have that
recording,
anymore. The
someone,
recording.
I don't think it's
Cyrus.
disappeared.
I
That
think
maybe
I
if
can't remember if Huck took care of that, or like
It was
what happened
Cyrus.
with. Yeah, I don't. So I don't think
You
Billy
mean
has
what Cyrus
that
destroyed
information
at the
anymore.
end? Wasn't
No,
that
no,
the
no, no,
double?
no.
Oh,
I
okay,
mean the evidence of Fitz having an affair, which
okay.
we face at the end of the first season. I don't know if Billy still has access to that kind of
Well, look at the
to
Defiance
evidence.
kit. There were so many different copies. I don't, these are big players. I
that's
don't
what
think
I
that
said. I
But
think
they're
those
not
were
dealing
false
with one
copies.
one copy of something. I don't trust that. I don't believe
No,
it.
and I go back to what Olivia said in was it 14 when she, meets up with Cyrus after 10 months, when we had that time
Mhm.
jump in the second season. And she basically says to him, defiance is never going to go away. And I think in some ways that's true, that we're always going to circle back around, and like it's going to
Mhm.
be a threat
You don't want
in
that.
some ways, and come up, and at different points in the season, in different ways. But I think it's a really interesting idea if it was Billy who dropped the bomb about the mistress thing, piecing together what he knew from before, plus
Mm-hmm.
the knowledge he's gained about defiance, and even though what's his
He's
face, David didn't know.
on his moral horse
If
because
he's
Mhm.
smart,
Right.
yeah, he
Right.
he's
could have
like, oh
pieced that
no, he was
together.
already there with Sally because Sally's already a morality crazy person, and
Mhm.
then on
Mhm.
top of it, he's finding out all this dirt on Fitz, and he's just like, when is it going to be enough? Like, I want somebody else in office. I don't want my president to be this fucked up. He's just like all over
Right.
that. He's
Right.
not
Right.
even trying to hear any of that. So, what do you think is going to happen with the OPA team? We already know Olivia, number one, you were like, they're going to face drama and trouble and they're going to come against them. So,
Mhm.
what do you think, Nicole?
I think in order for season 3 to be interesting, something's gonna have to tear that team apart. Something's gonna have to go down where they're gonna have to turn on each other.
You
They
don't
Mhm.
think
can't
they're
keep
already
on.
falling apart?
Yeah,
They
I
already
think
falling
Yeah.
apart.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the
They're
They
tattered,
already
are.
there.
yeah, they're
like the
already
scandal little
there.
thing with the tattered sheet.
Yeah, you're gonna have to see more of
Yeah.
that, more of them.
I don't want them to fall apart anymore. I'm such a
It's
romantic.
for
I
good
don't want
TV.
it.
It's good
I
I
don't
think
TV.
it's
want it.
actually going to be more about how they're going to come together, and I wonder if they're going to have to do that for the sake of Olivia, because she is now in trouble. She is
Yeah.
in danger. At the very end of the episode, and I think it's going to challenge both OPA as well as Fitz, because Olivia can't fix this mistress situation. She shouldn't. She shouldn't get involved in them because it's so much about her. Like, OPA, she gave Harrison those two folders,
I knew she was
right?
going to
That
get in
black
trouble
folder,
as
and
soon
then
as she
that,
did that.
Mhm.
yeah, I think she knew that it was coming, that it was going to come out somewhere, and she was trying to prepare for it. I don't think she expected it to happen in the way that it did, and
Mm-hmm.
not to at least know anything about it. But so I think OPA is going to have to pull together in some way to be there for her, to help her with that situation. I can't, the end of the episode the end of 222 made it clear that Olivia was trying to go back and repair what essentially she had broken in
Yeah.
OPA. And we saw some of that coming out in this episode with what Abby said to her, and then what Olivia says back to Abby in that conference room, about, she makes the tough calls. It's her name on the door.
Yeah.
I always go back to
It's
that. It's
my
my name
name
on the
on
door. It's
that
my name on
door.
the door.
That's why I
And
love
it's
it in my opening.
yeah, it's not something that's said out of arrogance, as if, I'm the queen bitch up in this piece. It's about, at the
Right.
end of
She
the
is.
day, it's my neck on the
It's
line. No
her
matter
neck
what
on the
you
I
guys
line.
know it.
do,
Yes.
if you
Yes.
fall apart, it goes back to me. Like,
Mhm.
and I think even in her relationship with Fitz, like, that's also true. People have this, like, this fantasy that, oh, Olivia can go be first lady. No, she fucking cannot. You know what I mean? She is she I'm sorry, I'm getting off here, going to a whole other thing. Let me just bring it back.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the end of the day, it's her neck on the line. I really think the team is going to have to, like, come together to really do something for her in a way that they have never before. That, at the beginning of the third season, she's got to be their client.
I love that it's 20 minutes after this last. Oh, this is going to be great. Okay, so Reston now knows that Fitz is not really president. What do you think? Who do you think will be running up against Fitz in this upcoming election?
You know who I think already.
Is it
Edison.
Sally?
I think it's gonna be
Edison.
Edison. Yeah.
Oh, that would be
Yeah.
awesome.
Edison's coming back.
He's going to be Barack.
He's coming back.
You know,
Yeah.
that would be interesting if he ran
Because
against him. That
I
would be
don't
good.
remember word for word, but there was an interaction between him and Olivia where he said something, and it was to that extent. Like, basically, he's trying to go up, and
Yeah.
and
Very
he
ambitious.
figured something out too. He's figured out a little bit. He may not have all the pieces, so not knowing who's aligned in this damn town anymore, I would not be surprised to see him coming out like,
But
the
Edison's
Democratic
also
nod, because you did say
he's annoying, right? Yeah.
He's boring and annoying.
I like
Very
Edison.
boring.
You can't have the bad boy all the time. Just go with the good nerd and you make some money and be happy. Just Jesus. Oh, goodness.
You know what's funny? When I rewatched season 2, like after very recently, I was like, you know what, Edison, you're not that terrible. I don't like you for
adorable.
Olivia, but I didn't hate him as much the second time
I
around.
hated
have
Jake.
to
I
say.
loved
watch it
Edison.
again.
I thought Edison was awesome because all he wanted to do
Look at
was be
Nicole.
there for her. Even when he went to the team and said to them, "Something's wrong with her. Please help me." I mean, that's awesome. Did you see? Did you?
Oh, the earrings about to come back off.
Look, I don't know what's going on with her. Please help me. I thought that was so sweet. Fitz would never do that, by the way, with his no eyebrow
Because
having
Fitz
self.
actually
So-
fucking knows her and would know what
Exactly.
to do. It shows that Edison doesn't know her.
No,
Doesn't
it shows
know her.
that even if he
Like,
could
to get help
her,
from
he
them.
wanted to find someone who could, and her team could help her. And I think he was right with that. I don't think that Fitz is the right match for her ever. They might be sexually compatible.
You're
Good Lord.
destroying the show, Jaha.
Oh my God, whatever.
Destroying it.
Really, Jaha, you don't see the ways in which they work really well in a political partnership. The way their ideals meet.
No.
Yeah.
I don't see it.
And her outlook of the world does not match with Edison's, like, at all. They don't have the
Whatever.
same.
Exactly.
point of
He
view
wants her to
on
be
that
a
what
stuff,
y'all
good
saying.
wife.
right?
Y'all still in the hangout? I don't
Right.
see y'all.
Right? He wants her to be she wants her to be Mrs. Davis, whereas Fitz's ass would be happy to be Mr. Olivia Pope, even though he's
Right,
It's not like
right.
they're not compromising. She can compromise with him to become, for them to work together as a unit rather than her
I don't
becoming
see that.
Mrs.
But
Edison.
she said she doesn't want to. Remember, she said I could
Because she
become
wants
your wife.
something
I
tragic
could
and
become-
drama and stressful
No,
and
not
alive.
tragic and drama. You know what she wants? She wants something that's worth fighting for, something that
She
excites
wants
her.
to feel
This
alive.
woman, yeah, exactly. Think about her job. Her job is a rush. It's a thrill. The
wants to let
things
it
that she
all
has
hang
to
out.
do, exactly. And her job is not boring in the least. She goes balls out for her client and like gets herself
can't.
into like all these situations. And I think it's hard for people who look at that and say, that's too much drama. I can't live like that. That makes me anxious. I
It
cannot
is
deal
drama.
with that
Your
stuff.
stomach is roiling in drama. I mean, it's almost
But some
like
people
you are on this
thrive on
roller
that,
coaster
though.
that just keeps going.
Exactly,
They
Olivia.
have different, there are some people
Exactly.
who thrive on. Some people thrive on that. If there's nothing
I
going on, they
can't.
kill themselves. They want to commit
Yep.
suicide.
Kill
Yeah.
themselves. Is
That's
that
what she would do.
I need
She
them
would
Yeah.
to
kill
get.
herself.
Mm-mm.
If she was with Edison,
I need
I
them to get some
guarantee
God in their life if all that.
Olivia
is
would
going
swallow
on.
a bottle of pills.
He
if
was
she was
not
with Edison.
boring. He
What?
was normal.
Jaha, tell me something.
So many
tell me
relationships are
something.
dysfunctional that this was
Tell me something.
normal.
This woman was with this man
Wake
for
me up
4
when we're done
years.
talking about Edison.
Right?
Oh
This
my
woman was with this man
gosh.
for 4 years before she went off to go join this campaign because Cyrus asked her to, right?
Right.
She was engaged to this man. She didn't return this dude's calls for 3 years after meeting Fitz, right? She goes back with
She
him
was getting
because
her vagina taken care of by somebody else.
right.
That's never stopped her
Boring.
before.
Okay, you remember
well,
those
yeah, that's
pictures
true.
Fitz was looking at his desk, and he was like getting all emotion. Her weave was not even sweated out. Okay, this man is boring. He can't even like do that right in the bedroom.
She
They're
would
getting
never get her
dressed
weave
together.
wet for
She's
Edison.
not even like paying attention to him while they're getting dressed, and he's talking about his exes. Then we cut to 221, where she and
I
Fitz
love
are getting
that with
dressed,
the
and they're
221.
talking about stuff, and they're like connected.
What are they talking
and
about?
Talking about work. They were talking
Hi.
about how they're gonna deal
Hi.
with no.
What was they talking about?
You hate for their love. Whatever.
We were not discussing anything. It was like,
What were they
just-
saying?
Wait,
Wait. What were they saying? Say it again. What were they saying?
Hi. That was it. It was no expounding on it. It
Oh
was,
my God.
No,
Is there
no.
a bigger Olitz hater in the house?
I don't think so.
that somebody put that all my comments. It was like, I don't think you like Olitz. I'm like, who are you talking about?
You're not about the Olitz life. I'm telling you, you're not about that life.
I mean, look, I love the love and the look of the love. I just don't like the brows, and I just
You're
don't
not there for the.
Oh my god.
Oh my god, there she goes. There she goes.
Man, I'm sorry. I was like, man, I just
gonna
want to.
Eyebrows in season 3. Watch.
I'm gonna draw.
That's your prediction.
That's my prediction.
Nicole, I'm gonna draw them on a picture and put it on Twitter and see how the Standard fans curse me out.
So disrespectful, man.
Look, Fitz got brows. What?
Olivia's got enough eyebrows for the both of
I
us.
can't. Look, I made a whole satirical post about this saying, look, this man has eyebrows. Let me show you all the ways in which he has eyebrows.
Did he have eyebrows when the devils dragged him off in Ghost?
He had a little bit. He had like a. It was more like right here, and then it was like a little line, and then.
Oh my God, Olivia.
Y'all are crazy. Okay, so I'm gonna give y'all a couple questions and wrap this up. Oh my goodness! And one of my questions was about the B613 thing, but I'm not gonna ask that since we talked about it. So with Charlie and Quinn, because those are two dangling lines. I mean, storylines that we're gonna have to see come into its full fruition in season 3. What do you think is going to happen? Because Charlie just dipped out and we don't know where he is, what's going on. Do you think that he's on the lam? Do you think that he's going to come back to try to harm anybody in OPA? Or what do you think is going to happen with Charlie? Because basically Sai cut him off, but Sai is very fickle, as we see.
Yeah,
you know, like he didn't want, at first all season 1 he was like, I don't want you and Fitz together, and then season 2, these are my friends. Like, wait, are you David Rosen right now? What is going on with that?
I think we should think about it. I've been thinking about this whole Charlie thing, and he supposedly is like Huck, where he's no longer part of the group anymore. But have you noticed how many episodes Charlie has been in and how many different schemes that he's been on the other end of as far as OPA was concerned? I'm not necessarily convinced that he is not still part of the B16 or the organization. He's so integral in a lot of different schemes. I don't see how he'd be allowed to be living if he was out on his own. No, seriously, somebody would have killed Charlie already. If he was really out on his own and acting rogue and just being paid to do different jobs, is he the only person that
Jake
can do
was
these
trying
jobs?
to kill him.
You're
Jake
right,
was trying to
Nicole.
kill him.
You're right,
You
Nicole,
know?
because Charlie at the end of God, I think it may have been was it 220?
Was trying to kill him.
He was trying to get a deal. He said, I want the deal that Olivia got for you, Huck, because Huck is basically able to just be out in life. And I think that is because of her father knowing where Huck is, essentially, and that he's with her. So Huck is allowed to be. Whereas Charlie
he's almost
isn't.
like a
protector. So I think you're right that he
Olivia,
is.
Though.
Yeah, he is. He is. That that Charlie is still connected to that organization, so he can come back in all kinds of ways that are shady, and it'll be interesting to see if that is sort of aligned more with Rowan and Jake in the upcoming season, or is it going to be with Huck? I don't know. Let's see.
I don't think Huck trusts Charlie in any way, shape, or form. So I don't think he'll be aligned with Huck.
But they respect each other, and even back with the flashbacks between them when Huck got in trouble, Charlie felt bad for Huck, and Charlie just grasped the whole.
He let him go.
Yeah, he did. He did.
Right. And then Huck did the same thing for him. So they have a certain healthy respect for each other that they know it's just the nature of the beast, what they do, what they did for a living. It's not really. It's not personal. It's not personal. Yeah. It's not like, Charlie's doing all these things because he personally has a vendetta. This is who they are. This is what they do. And despite what trouble he causes, Huck understands that. Huck gets it. And if we find out what Charlie's angle is, that'll be so interesting to see who's got Charlie. Someone's got him. He's not just flitting around by himself. He's aligned with somebody. No. But Sai can't get rid of him either. So it's somebody.
True. So this last episode of the season, of season 2, we saw where Fitz tucked his tail between his legs and went back to Melly. What do you think is going to happen with that relationship for season 3? Nicole is like,
It's as far as Melly. For the record, I love Melly. I think that she should get more
I like
airtime
her
in
too.
season 3.
Yeah,
She's
I also
amazing.
like Melody
Great.
a lot.
Yeah, she's a necessary evil.
She's strong, and I think her and Olivia have a lot in
Yes.
common. They're very
Mhm.
similar characteristics, which is probably why. Well, I can't say he loves her because I don't think Fitz loves his wife at all. But
No.
I will hope to see in season 3 him respecting her a bit more, because a lot of times the things he dish out to her, she don't really deserve, in my opinion. He's just
Yeah.
hard on her for no reason, and she's just trying to.
I'm sorry. Forgot to turn this off.
But go ahead, Nicole.
She's like the best. She wants the best for the office and for him, I think, but he's
And that's
just
what I
always so
said.
hard on her.
But
So
He's rude and disrespectful, and she
very.
just loves him. I think she
see,
loves him.
no,
Olivia has a different concept of that, but I think that Melly
I
actually
think
does love
No,
the
let me.
reason
Oh, I got so much to say. Sorry. Go
the
ahead.
reason why it's so easy for Fitz to disrespect Melly is married to the plan.
She is married
loves.
to him.
It's a plan. It's a plan that was put together by her father and his father. And
But
it's a dream. It's a dream that I'm not going to tell you that she doesn't have feelings for Fitz.
I was about to say, what?
But-
Jaha, I'm not going to tell you again. I'm like, what?
No, Olivia, I think you're right. You know what it is, because
it's the plan.
it's not just a plan. You have to think about the context of their relationship. Oh my God, I think it's my mother, and I'm just like, stop calling. She's so annoying. Like, if she doesn't get me, she calls like 3 times in a row.
Yes.
But I do think that
But-
actually, because Melly says
Wait.
this episode when Fitz asked her, if all this goes away, would you be okay? And she was like, no, I would not be okay. This is not going away. Get your head out your butt. Let's
Right.
keep moving.
This is the
Y'all
first
remember
time
when
she
she
get a
said that?
sense of who Melly is and how she could just turn like that on a
Right.
dime, and like what she, her ambition, right?
Right.
That she is not some supportive wife who just wants to give Fitz what he wants. We see
But she
that
did.
she
said
really
that
has a stake
last
in this.
episode. She said
it's
that last
Fitz
episode. She was like, I just want to
in
give
this
you what you
box.
want.
But it's
And-
not just about that. And she
It's
wants to
his
get what
hair.
she wants.
What are you talking about, Olivia?
I have so many feelings about the Fitz and Melly relationship. Let me say just a couple of things about them. Like,
Go ahead.
one, I think you have to think about their relationship in the context of their class. That these are, and especially Melly's background as well. What we learned about her being, this DAR girl, blue blood, all of that. These people have arranged marriages in the same way that, kings and queens back in Europe, back in the day, had arranged marriages, that they were bringing together families and nations. So in these people at that level, it's not just about the two of you as individuals and about your love and whatever. It's about a political dynasty. It's
Y'all
about
are
a
tripping.
future. It's about no, I'm not tripping, man. If you
real.
think that that's not real, that shit is real. And even
I
in
do know
even,
that's real. I'm just
even
saying
in-
that just thinking about the
But
fact
that-
that he can have loved him, even if it started that way, that doesn't mean that they
I'm not
didn't
saying that
fall
there
in
isn't
love.
love.
Well, she
I
didn't fall in
think-
love with him.
No, there is love there, but we have to think about. There's so many different kinds of love, right? I
Yes.
know
Yeah.
so many, like in India. Arranged marriages and in other countries is very much entrenched in that cultural system, right? Where
I need to go to another country.
where these families come together, both sort of in a figurative sense and literal sense, in that they move into the homes of the families, right? And I know personally,
No risk?
no, I'm also like, I know personally people who have been married for decades, and their marriage was arranged, and they love grew, right? They grew to love each other. They grew to know each other and
Right.
trust
It's
each
like a
other. Not
friendship.
only a friendship, a partnership in raising the children, but also a deep respect and a love there, right? So Melly loves Fitz in that way that she knows how. This woman, there was this other gladiator who was on another podcast, Ray 1447, brought up a really good point about Melly and her background, and that Melly, in all likelihood, because of her family's wealth and being blue blood, probably went to boarding school. So she didn't spend a lot of time with her family necessarily. So the kind of love that she grew up with was about pleasing her parents and being the person that they expected her to be, and not about being reckless and falling in love and all that stuff. She actually frowns on that a lot. She frowns on all of Fitz's feelings for Olivia, not just because, and emotions, not just because, oh, her husband has fallen in love with this other woman, but because it flies against everything that she believes in, and it's messy, and everything that she grew up to believe in. So the kind of love that she has for Fitz, you know, they had maintained all this time. And then this guy, you know, goes out, finds the light, sees baby Jesus, and basically flips the script on her, and she's not here for it, because his relationship with her, his love for her, his emotions for her causes him to behave in ways that are dangerous for Mellie. This woman did not grow up in a world where independent women, you go out and do what you want to do by yourself. This woman grew up in a world where you attain certain things through marriage with this person, and that's what you're going to do. So for all her bluff and blustering about the political career that she wants to have outside of Fitz, I think she's also scared of a life without Fitz in some ways, which is why she hasn't left him.
Give you a lot of crazy things.
And to touch on her human part about that, imagine how in her mind she's been perfect all these years. She's been perfect, and she was never able to get that kind of love back from Fitz. So to see him do this with Olivia, because remember, she had no problem when she thought it was just him getting some stress off his back.
Right. When thought it was just sex.
When she thought it was just a stress reliever and it would help keep him focused, she was okay with him and Olivia and whatever was going on. She didn't like it, but if that's what he needed, fine. I think the fact that she knows it's more than that, how would that make you feel? I have your kids. I've done everything. I've sacrificed. I could have done something
all
else.
These years.
And I can't get that from you. And you really think I'm going to sit here and watch you and this girl do this crap and ruin everything that we've been building and done together? F that. No, it's not happening.
And he does disrespect her. And I don't think it's intentional on his part. I think because he's in this relationship with a woman who he clearly is not in love with, and especially when he is spurned by the woman he is in love with, all of that anger, all of that resentment comes out at Mellie. And that's a very real and human thing. When you're, where you project your issues onto the wrong person. So she bears the brunt of a lot of his ire. I'm not saying that it is right. I'm saying that that's what happens. And he does disrespect her. And so part of him,
but she
as
doesn't
you said,
have to take it. It's not like she has to stay.
No, she doesn't have to. She doesn't have to stay.
But what is she going to do?
For lots of reasons.
She has a law degree.
She threatens in a lot of ways. But I think she's scared of that life without Fitz in many ways.
And
what is she going to do? She has to start over.
Yeah, the life that she comes from, she can't leave him because that will. But
on another note, Katrina, I need you to tell me exactly how I can get adopted by these families so that I can have an arranged marriage and live my life stress-free in somebody else's house without paying rent.
You might not like it. It's definitely not a cakewalk. And lots of bullshit happening in like arranged marriages.
Depending.
If that's what I got to do to not have to pay rent, then that's what I'm gonna have to do. I'm gonna just live in there with 3 cats and 17 dogs. I don't care.
I tell you what, you can go on shoddy.com and go sign yourself up to get a match. I don't know how
shoddy.com.
Sound good.
It's S-H.
It's
a Hindi word. I'm just saying, shoddy. It's S-H-A-A-D-I.
I said arranged marriage, not a shoddy marriage.
Yeah. Shoddy is an S-H-O-D-D-Y. Shoddy as in S-H-A-A-D-I. Shadi means marriage
know how to
in Hindi.
That.
So there you go.
Oh, I like this. So ladies,
go meet a match.
If you want you to get a little husband, a little something, go ahead to shadi.com and tell them Jaha sent you.
Oh God,
let me sign up as an affiliate.
If you read Jaded Hearts, you know I am so not about that life. I am so not about that life.
And we did need to talk about that. So Nadine O is the listener that won a copy of Jaded Hearts by author Olivia Linden, and she needs to send us her email
Olivia,
address.
You wrote a book?
Yeah.
That's awesome. awesome.
That's
So
awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations.
Thank
That's
you
did a
very
good
much.
job,
I'll give you
lady.
guys
Go ahead. Get your thing.
ebooks. Give me your
Oh,
email
thank you.
Oh,
addresses.
that's
Appreciate it.
amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
We
Tell
get
me
to
how you
read
feel. It's
with
kind
you,
of scandalous,
girl.
you know.
Oh, perfect. I
Oh,
love
I
scandals.
know. Yeah. I would
That's the
hope
reason I
so.
started this podcast. Because my
Because of her
books are
book?
like Scandal. I'm writing up, yeah, I have 2 books that I've
Oh,
written now, but
cool.
they're not
I
out
didn't know
yet. I'm
that.
writing them in a
Oh, okay,
series.
okay.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you
so
did it the
awesome.
smart
This is
way. You
great.
did it
Look
the
at
smart
this.
way.
Yes.
Yeah, that was
I'm
smart. Had
not
I
trying to have that
known,
pressure on me.
whoa,
Shoot.
it's a lot.
So
But
I am going to wrap up with you ladies. I do want to talk to you, Olivia, because I do have a couple questions for you because
okay,
I'm
okay.
a graphic designer. I design book covers and
Oh,
all that good
cool,
stuff. So
Great.
cool.
let's just have a little powwow. I'm gonna send you some
Sure,
emails and see what works out for you.
sounds good to me.
Thank you, Nicole, Olivia, and Katrina for joining me on this
It was
episode
Yeah.
my
of
pleasure.
Thanks.
It was
It
a
was
lot of
Yeah, I
fun.
had
So
so much
It was
Much.
fun. And
great.
I'm
Very
sorry
Yeah.
we
fun.
didn't get to everything because I like
I
to run my
know.
mouth.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
So
But at
Another
least now you
hour.
know for the future.
Y'all have a great afternoon. I appreciate it.
Oh,
You
all
you
right,
too.
too. It was
cool.
really
Bye,
nice meeting
ladies.
you
Nice meeting you
guys.
Bye.
guys. I'm
Bye.
following you